Okay, this is about attempt number 5. I'm getting really tired of the software. Um, so, and maybe I'll speak slowly so when it glitches, we won't miss too much. That's going to be really weird and annoying. Um, anyway, thank you for joining me. This is my first Flosstube of June. Um, Gosh, and I hadn't even thought of a name for it yet. Um, but it'll be Flosstube number 7. And uh, I just want to thank everyone for joining me, and people who are subscribing, thank you. And, uh, even if you just watch and move on, thank you very much. And uh, still keep waiting for it to continue, for it to glitch again. But anyway, the cats went for their annual vet visit, since we've had them a year as of Juneteenth, and Max is 11.2 pounds. Goodness. And Willow did not wear the full head muzzle, and she did not bite or scratch the vet or the vet technician. Yay! I have been working with her with trust and love, and now she's going to come over here and want to be part of the floss tube, maybe. Yes, I hear you. You want to come up and join? So, anyway, if I can get her off the keyboard there. I don't have too much today. Hey, Willow. So I wanted to show you a little preview. On August 3rd is the sidewalk sale de-stash event at Acorns and Threads in Raleigh Hills in the Portland area. And they basically, you rent out a space, you bring your own tables and chairs, and then you sell stuff that you may have, and you're responsible for your money, cash, and keeping that straight. And I've already paid for my space, and I've gotten a couple donations from the Salem Mary Stitchers. If some of my Salem Mary Stitchers friends want to give me some more stuff, that would be fine. But I'm going to show the kits that I've got. I have a number of patterns, and I have some patterns that are some in better shape than others. But the kits I was going to do at $10 a piece or best offer. So all of these are fairly old, out of print, but they are intact with all the floss and the fabric. And make sure, yeah, that's got fabric in it. So anyway, the first two I got from my mom. This is a Janlin kit. It is so old that I don't even know like what year it came out. And it's got the fabric, which is Zeta, and the floss. And so this is Four Seasons birds. And I thought about keeping it because my mother-in-law likes birds, but I have a couple cross stitch bird things I was going to do for her eventually. So I think I'm selling this one. So let's see. I don't have a spot where I was going to throw them. Maybe I'll put them on the floor. They're sealed, so I know what I'll do. I have a box where I keep gifts that as I buy things throughout the year, because I grew up poor, so we didn't just buy at Christmas or after Thanksgiving. We bought when we could afford it throughout the year. So if I see something for someone, oh gosh, the cats are like, oh, she's got the box out. Let's play in the box. Okay. So Willow's now in there. So, yeah, Willow, you're going to take up all this space, so I can't fit the kits in there. But anyway, this is another one I got from my mom. It's a Christmas House of Hardanger. And I actually saw this in the store. This is from 1996, but I think I saw it in the store like in the early aughts. And So I actually thought about buying this, I think, at one point for myself, and I thought it was really pretty, but I don't know, it looked big, and um, I've never done heart hangers, and it would have been fun to try, but anyway, the only thing about this kit is it is sliced open at the top, but it does have all the, um, it does have all the, yeah, this is Ada, and oh, sorry, Willow's now playing with something on the table. It's like, what is she doing? So, and it's got the floss and the pattern. So, anyway, House of Hardanger. And I was going to sell the kits for $10 a piece or best offer. And this is one I got for myself, and it is from 1999 is when the, yeah, and it's a leisure arts kit. Um, and originally from Michaels it was 1999, and so it has like a light blue Ada and the pattern and the flosses. And so I had thought I was going to make this for a family member that I thought would like the design, but then it was just, I didn't get around to it. And so then I think I might have shown this one. Maybe I didn't show this one. I think I talked about this one. So one of my good friends loves whales. And so when I first was getting to know her, maybe I'd only known her. This came out in 2001. I bought it probably around 2003. And I didn't know her that well then, but I knew she liked whales. So I thought, well, maybe she likes dolphins too. But no, she really likes belugas. So, so I have a beluga and a mermaid pattern that I just picked up in a clearance bin at the local needle shop. So I'm going to make that for her someday. And I have already shown the big whale with the reef animals inside the whale pattern that I've made for her. So anyway, this is really Balance of Life, and it has all of the flosses, including this like Krynic sort of stuff that it has in here, and it looks like it's stamped. It does have a pattern underneath this Ada, so you don't have to completely rely on your color sense with the flosses and the stamp. And then finally, this is one I got because I love wolves, and I thought, oh, that's a nice design. Maybe I'll do it for me someday. But, it, and again, it comes with all the stuff and dimensions. I have a few dimensions that are smaller, like the gold petites. I might have a big one too. But I just decided, nah, there are other things I'd rather do for me. So that's a little taste of some of the stuff that are there. Like I say, I've got more patterns. I do have another kit that a friend of mine gave me, and I need to talk to her more about. I think if $10 is a fair price for that kit. She kind of reconstructed it by putting floss in there, or maybe the floss that was in there came with it, because I think it's a kit she got from like at a local needle shop or a retreat. I'm not sure. So maybe a local needle shop somewhere out of state. So anyway, so that's some of the sneak peeks. Most of the fabric I've got for the D-stash is Ada, and it's I'm gonna sell it for cheap because I just want to get rid of it. It's taken up space, and also a lot of this stuff was stuff my mom wanted to get rid of. So it's good, and a lot of it has not been opened. So but you're not going to find some fancy piece of linen in the stuff that I'm going to have. So, okay, so that's the D-stash part. And so let me get into some curated cross stitch collection. And you know what? I was gonna go get a scissor, and I didn't. But I've got, this is something you don't want to do, is use your little scissors on something that's not floss, but I try not to do this very often. Actually, see how hard. Now I'm just gonna tear it because now my thumb's stuck on this. Ouch. It didn't really hurt. It was more like sort of surprising. You know, sometimes you say ouch and it doesn't really hurt, but it's just like, this is a situation I don't want to find myself in. So, all right. So, I am doing 2 sals, or rather I should say I've purchased 2 sals. I am not doing them yet, but one of them is Lola Crow, the Deadly Aquarium, and I had purchased Fiberlicious Maldivian Dreams, and I had her dye it in a landscape, so this is half of the fabric. So the Maldivian Dreams that you see on the website is more of the portrait orientation. And so, and then I was thinking, and it's a big piece of fabric. So I was thinking, since the pattern is wider than it is tall, that I should probably have maybe asked for a portrait. But then, and I thought, oh, I've ordered it wrong. I'm gonna have to, contact the Fiberlicious people and say I goofed, and can you send me this in a portrait instead of a landscape dyeing formation. But I got to thinking about it more, and it is Aida, so the dyeing does not look as lovely as if it was linen, but it's definitely showing the water table, which is what I wanted it to do. And okay, Max, we gotta put the scissors away, and we gotta put this little cuff over here, and oops, there's a reinforced cable you can chew on. I buy them like metal reinforced, so I don't want them chewing any cords. That's not healthy for kitties. But there's a point that you just can't get around it. So I buy metal reinforced, and then he gets to chew on them. And last night I had to I don't know if you can see. That doesn't look too bent. Okay, that was totally bent in because he went. And so I basically took a dinner knife and like bent it back, and it does connect to the computer, and it does still charge my phone. So I'm okay with that. But that's something that I want the cats to be safe, but there's things that I can't control. And so anyway, with this fabric, the more I was looking at it, and I thought, wow, there's a lot of green as opposed to blue. But then I started looking at the dimensions of the design, and this is 32 count, so it's like 16 count. So it's going to be a little bit smaller than 14. And so I'm looking at the dimensions of the Deadly Aquarium Sal online and going, wait a minute, this is only going to be like, it's not going to be a big, huge, like giant sampler size. It's going to be just, like, maybe half or less of this in terms of, and it's, I was thinking it needed to be like this, but really it can fit like this because it's not going to be that big. So I think I can salvage this fabric, and then the green part at the top that I won't be using, I can stitch something else on. Probably some lovely Halloween thing on this sort of green, blue green, and it's also got some modeling here, so it's got some streaks, which I really like the streak parts, but I don't know. Yeah, some of the streaks will be showing in the Deadly Aquarium, and I think that would be good because then it'll look you know, kind of creepy, like it's polluted water, maybe. But anyway, so I think I can salvage this, and I'm almost thinking, wow, I should have got 18 count and a smaller piece of fabric, but but I wasn't thinking. I was, the design itself looks huge, and I know other people are stitching it on pretty good size fabric, but maybe they're stitching more like 28 count. So anyway, I was happy I got to salvage this, and I was really happy because some of the hand-dyed fabrics, they kind of do things in batches, so they don't necessarily, you may have to wait a number of weeks, and I got this in like 5 weeks from when I ordered it. So I was really like, whoa, because I was happy with waiting for 6 months because I purchased all these salves, and then I only have one salve that I've ever started. Am I anywhere close to? I'm not even a quarter done with it. Okay, but anyway, it's something I stitch on seasonally with friends. So when I don't have too many gifts to do. All right, so let me put this. We'll put this in the secret present box, which right now it has a tote bag and 2 gift cards in it. Oh, and a couple fire blankets because I decided to get these fire blankets for people for Christmas, and guess what? My husband's aunt had the same idea. I saw the commercials online, she saw the commercials on TV. Different commercials, but we both thought this is a great product and everyone needs it. So, anyway, I bought some other fabric from a online vendor. This is from Fabric Flair. And this is, if I can remember, it says right there on the top, Mocha Parchment Webs. So this is and there's some glare from the plastic. You can see, and I also got it with like gold sparkles. So, so some of the sparkly part is not glare, it's the fabric itself. And so, and you can get it with or without sparkles. You can get it with gold sparkles, silver sparkles, opalescent, I think, is a choice. Well, I know the Maldivian Dreams could have been opalescent, but maybe this is just gold and silver. I don't remember now. But I thought gold would be nice. And so this is for the Haunted Clock from Tiny Modernist. And I have no idea when I'm going to start that, but it came, I think the download started July 1st. So I know the Deadly Aquarium, I think, is on the 6th download right now, or I know I did the 5th already, but I'm not sure if the 6th came out yet. If it came out, I haven't downloaded it yet. So, all right. And then it was fabric discount month on the coupons for Acorns and Threads, and I didn't need any fabric, but I went to the store thinking, well, it would be really nice to get some, this is like a raw linen, which is sort of a brown sand color. Natural brown is what it says on the back. And then this is a, again, Fabric Flair, Spooky Hollow, is used for this pattern, which is my Coffee Talk patterns, which I really, really want to stitch. The coffee doesn't ask silly questions. Coffee understands. And if I could illegally figure out how to do a Dutch Brothers on it, you know, I would, and then I'd show the shop. I'd take a picture and give it to the shop so they could give it to their corporate. And so it might be okay. I've been a customer of theirs for 21 years. So that's got to count for something, right? So, and then I thought, oh, Jan Hicks. So, you know, they've done the different Jan Hicks, which is on the back. They've done them on different colors of fabric. But I thought, oh, I would really like to do those all maybe on the same fabric. So I took this with me to the store, kind of, and you know, took these with me to the store to see, can I find anything to stitch, especially the coffee talk. And did I? No, not really. But I did. Atomic Ranch, one of my favorite fabrics, had, this is 28 count tea rose linen, which it's a little bit more rosy color in real life than it is showing in this light. But anyway, 13 by 18 piece, not a big piece, but pretty, and I just couldn't say no. This is watercress linen, and I don't know which brand of linen. This is also 28 count. I think that green, since I don't like neutrals like but ugly browns and beiges, I like some of the white grays, but I think green can also be a really good neutral. And you know, a lot of people I see stitching stuff, they're stitching on, you know, something that's variegated, that's purple or grays or, you know, something like that. So anyway, I have several different kinds of greens. I've got, this is watercress. I have a eucalyptus. I thought about buying, I think, a spruce at the shop, but I decided not to. And then this is Atomic Ranch linen Blue Ridge, which again you can see the variegation and splotching in this, and that's perfectly fine because you're going to be stitching over some of the splotches, and it's just going to add to the texture. And so and it was funny because I was talking about fabrics, and I said something to my husband about Atomic Ranch, and so he was interested. So I went and pulled like 3 other colors that I got out of the craft dresser, and showed him that, and had showed him the vapors, which is what I'm stitching. This Prim pattern, Prim Christmas Winter Blessing on it, and so he was very interested in the Atomic Ranch colors. He really liked the vividness of the colors, and I am not trying to turn him into a cross stitcher, but you know, it's nice that we can be joyful and support each other's hobbies. So, and then because I was in the shop, I did pick up Shore is Fun, which is a pattern by Stitches by Ethel, which I had been wanting to pick up, and I had also wanted to pick up the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. Love this color. Don't have any idea how to do that, but someday I will figure it out. Man, there's a pretty one on the back. This is poppies. So anyway, lovely stuff. And it had just come out, like, I mean, that people who have maybe mail subscriptions were showing it on their floss tubes the last time I was in the shop. So so I grabbed one when I could get it, and because I was worried it was going to sell out before I got back to the shop. And I think this was it was the only one on their counter. There may have been a spot in the store where they had more, but I didn't see it. And then, of course, because I was looking for the Jan Hicks Florographica 2, I did get, oops, I always know which hand is which in the, okay, let's move this hand. Nah, what? It's the wrong direction. Oh, I have the irises in the wrong hand. Okay, I was thinking somehow the camera does swaps things, and then my sort of left-handed, probably subclinical dyslexic brain just goes crazy. So this is the iris, and this is the hydrangea, which sorry if there's some glare. There, you can see that without too much glare. So anyway, so now I have all four, and I can start stitching them in 10 years, whenever I get around to stitching for me. So this Christmas box is working out pretty well, as long as the cats don't jump in it. All right, so I believe that is all of the curated cross stitch collection for maybe until August. I am going into the store for the third Saturday of the month, which every Saturday is free stitch month unless they're doing a class. This coming weekend, I wish I was staying home, because I have my first of the month Zoom stitch group, but I'm going to the beach because we have a family reunion with my husband's family, and it will be fun, and I'll see people that I don't know very well and get better relationships with them, because they live in Washington and I hardly see them unless we have, weddings and funerals, and which is not always the best time to get to know people, but it'll be fun. And so yeah, and guess what? Okay, right now it's like 104 out here, which is the heat dome for, when I was a kid, before climate catastrophe really set in Oregon, maybe Western Oregon would have one day a year that might hit 100 or 98, or maybe a couple days, 3 days at most in a row that was in the 90s. Okay, we did not have hot weather like that on the west side. East side, sure, but yeah. So this heat dome, I'm going to show some pictures in this floss tube, because what I was at a Zoom stitch group with Stitch Friends, and my friend Margaret, who runs the Zoom group, she is a master gardener, and she's an expert in entomology bugs, and so she was talking about having to go buy plant shade cloth. And when she said what that was, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that would look like. And she's saying, well, yeah, I had to go buy some, because the plants they can't deal with that, that like 100-degree heat all the time for like days. And then at night, I mean, like last night at like 11:30 at night, it's 79 degrees outside. It is not cooling down at night. So the soil heats up and it doesn't cool down, and this is not good for the plants. So I went out after hearing this in my Zoom group. The next day after work, I took this was July 3rd. My husband and I went to one of the big box stores, to the garden section, and bought some plant shade cloth. Now, is it probably a bit too shady? Yes, but it's only for 4 days in a row, or a week in a row. Sorry, I've got some gunk on my screen. So, because it really hit on Friday. July 4th is when we put this stuff up, and it was getting pretty hot out there on July 4th, but I think the higher temperatures hit on Friday. And so Now it is Tuesday, so that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then tomorrow it's going to be in the 90s, I think. And but it's still going to be in the 90s. So it's not like it's getting that cool, you know. Maybe it'll cool down a bit more. At the beach, it's going to be 60 and cloudy. No rain, but cloudy, and I think on Sunday they have a high of 67, and Saturday it'll be 64-ish. Friday about the same, which would be great. The only thing that would make it better would be if it was sorry, I'm gonna have to take a getting dry. Hold on a sec. Sorry, as dry as it's been, I've been having allergies today, and so not sure why, but yeah. So anyway, so yeah, if it was rainy at the coast, it'd be awesome. Because the best time to visit the coast in Oregon is September, because you still get the heat if you want the heat and the sun, but there's no wind. In the summer, you get wind, you know, and you get a lot of temperature inversion. You get oxygen inversions in the water, so you know things are sort of dying off in the surf, and so and then you have all the tourists, and it takes forever to cross 101, and or to go anywhere on 101, because it's just bumper to bumper, like from what, Memorial Day to Labor Day, and maybe into September a bit, but by September the tourists are all going home, which is when people on the beach, people who live on the coast, we really enjoy winter when, you know, when I live there. So, and winter's awesome because you get these great big storms, and they bring in a lot of stuff, and then you go beachcombing and you find all sorts of things. So, anyway, I love the beach. My husband loves the beach. So I'm just looking at here. Okay, one last thing, which is whips. And I have not, I think I gave you my stats for June, which I think was, yeah, 23 stitch days, 8 were social. And so, and then this month I have not been that. It's now the 9th, and I have stitched 4 days. My husband and I started streaming a crime drama we're enjoying, Mayor of Kingstown, and so it's always like, can we watch a few episodes instead of me stitching? But and I'm also trying to get some books read for book club. So anyway, so I think I've only stitched one day on. Look at my yeah, 2 days on this, and then 2 days on the swan. So so anyway, so the apron is almost done. Now, oops, if I can get my finger over here. The center of the apron, which you can kind of see by the texture, there is a black kind of center, and then with goldenrod, it's sort of like a flower. There's a black center, and then the petals, if that's what it is, are goldenrod. And then I still got to get the arms, which are orange, and then the big pumpkin head, and then off to the side, this arm is holding a giant, what do you call those things? Gosh, like a watering pot. So, which she's watering the candy corn garden. So the candy corn plants. So I'm getting close. I need to finish this by the end of the month. I'm going to the Bristol one-on-one class at Acorns and Threads, which is the 27th and 28th of July, the last. I just want to watch my needle there. The last weekend in, I think that's the last weekend in July. And so at this class will be a bunch of my Salem friends, stitchy friends, and the person who's going to finish this for me is going to be there so I can do the handoff. And it'll be, because she said, do this, give it to me by early August. So I figure I'll give it to her on July 27th, and we'll be good. And so, oh, and gosh, I hope I didn't show you the pattern, or show you the pattern on the back. I'll have to check my I've done that before with this particular one, unfortunately, and edited it out. But anyway, Moonlight Garden Rebel Stitcher, love it. And oh, and Willow has decided that these little Ort boats are her favorite toy. So I'm going to have to get my friend who made me this one to make maybe a tinier one for her so she can carry it around the house and chew on it instead of taking mine. So, okay. And then the Valentine Terrarium, Tiny Modernist, and this is as far as I've gotten so far. I finished the Swan last weekend, and the two red bars right there are part of the door of the little house. And so then I've got a couple of the plants in the front of the house done, and then this plant will get a lot bigger on the side there. And been trying to fill in the bottom, and I realized over in here I miscounted and put some stuff on a different row, but it's okay. I mean, it's a bib. I'm not using the entire design, and you know, it is what it is. And so, and I knew I was gonna be taking out a few layers of design so that everything could fit for the bib. So anyway, I want to get this done by the end of July too, and that means I need to spend more time stitching. And so maybe tonight I can get some stitching in, because I've got 2 pins in this. I should only have 1 pin in that project bag. So maybe I can get some stitching in tonight, because my husband works late, and then we will, if we do any sort of TV, it'll be late, like after I eat and after I stitch a little bit. So anyway, that's all I've got. Did I talk about the cats? I think. Yeah, I think I did. Or I tried to before all the glitching. So, yeah. So, I think that's it. And I will show you the pictures of the shade that I'm trying to provide for the plants. My rhubarb's really not doing well, and it was not doing well before the heat dome. The leaves had gotten really scalded, so they were turning red, and now with a little bit of shade, they're gaining back some of their chloroplasts, so they're green. But I don't know if they're going to make it through the summer, or if they're going to die off, and then I'll just see if they grow back. The rhubarb is a root, it's perennial, so hopefully they'll come back. And I can't think of anything else. Yeah, so I think that's it, and can't wait. My stitchy friends, we've all been really busy, so we haven't got together. We're all kind of jonesing for our social stitching fix. And so we're going to get together on Thursday and have some, fellowship of stitching together. And not everyone's going to make it. And then the following week, I think a bigger crowd will show up. But anyway, so have fun with your stitching, and good luck to Tammy, who's starting a new adventure in another state. Just got to meet her last week. And so, anyway, I'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.